Hello, hello. You're listening to Walk-Ins. Welcome with Nick and Michael. We're back for another episode. 2026, off to a great start.
Yes.
Ready to rock, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. We just came off of a annual meeting with the company, which it's honestly, we've been doing this since the beginning of the company that I can remember. But the general consensus was yesterday was probably one of the best annual meetings we've had.
That was some of the surprising feedback that I got.
Yeah.
And really, we cut out a key ingredient of our annual meeting.
Yeah, we kind of did out of necessity.
Yeah, we can go into that a little bit, but we cut out a key ingredient of the meeting. I wasn't expecting people to be like, "Thanks for cutting that out." I thought it was something that people liked.
Yeah. So,
I like it.
Well,
I mean, everybody likes it.
and then we started reflecting a little bit. It's like, well, that's a leadership style thing that they were doing. So maybe it makes sense to have a separate meeting just for leadership to have that potential training as well.
I'm going to talk to him about doing that. Anyway, what it is it's a John Maxwell leadership game that we do with our team. It allows our team to open up and be honest and prompted, but honest about things that are working, things that aren't working, wins, losses, I hate you, that kind of stuff. That's come out before.
It has. And honest, thinking on the fly about that, why yesterday's meeting went well. I believe a couple of things. One, we were all on the same page.
Right.
There were no surprises. We all presented differently. Like there were five presenting, and we didn't we had a meeting about it prior, and we had a general outline, but we did not say, "Hey, what are you going to be talking about exactly?" And there was none of that going on, and so, but we all presented. We were all on the same boat. Like it wasn't like, well, you want that to happen? That's not going to line up with what they just said. None of that happened. Like we were all in the same boat, which was super cool. As one of our team members mentioned to you this morning, we were being very realistic about everything.
Right.
We weren't like pie in the sky. We're going to double our numbers this year. No, we've learned our lessons.
No, we failed so often and we're so easy to recognize what that looks like. It's funny. It's a good time to talk about this.
There you go.
We've missed a lot of goals. A lot of goals.
We have missed a ton of. We've missed every revenue goal ever.
I don't think we've ever hit a revenue goal. We suck at hitting revenue goals, but we are good at setting them.
And they feel really good.
When we set them. It's really hard to take into consideration all the things that happen. Anyway, where was I going with this? On social media, my mentor posted or commented on a video that showed up in his newsfeed, and it was me shooting the video in our thread of me talking about, this was in 2022, talking to my future self.
Oh yeah.
So this was my mentor.
How far in the future were you supposed to?
This was 2022. I think it was thinking 3 years in the future. I'm pretty sure.
That's why
But think about this.
Oh,
here's what it said. You're going to be a $2 million business. You're going to be a pilot. So I wasn't a pilot yet.
Oh yeah.
You're going to lose weight. Michael's going to be running the company. These are the things that I said in the video.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Michael, where are we today?
So close.
So I said I was going to lose 40 pounds. I lost 28.
There you go.
So there's that.
Yep.
Put a few pounds back on. But that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to this discussion. But I missed that goal. Yep. But I made progress.
Yep. And you pushed for it. You didn't just ignore it.
Correct. Pilot goals. I've got my private. I've got my instrument, almost 500 hours, right under it. I'm like 8 hours away from being at 500 hours
as a passenger,
at least. And we have hit the $2 million run rate.
Yeah.
Right. So everything that I said, what's funny is when I watched that video, I was chuckling at myself because I didn't believe it.
Yeah. And chances are, based on when that video was taken, that was probably around the time we probably had churn. We probably had all this
there's
stuff.
no doubt.
And we're like, yeah, we're going to really hit that number.
Right. And essentially, the other part of that goal was you're running the company, and you essentially run the company now.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of fun.
It is.
In 3 years.
I can't, but his comment to me in that video was, people overestimate, we do this every year, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 3 to 5.
It's true.
And that's part of the goal setting we can talk about today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that It's real because I from my own experiences and then the clients that we work with, they're always like, oh, I want to double. It's always like, I want to double. Well, cool. What does that look like? And how long did it take you to get to where you are now?
Right.
And they quickly forget.
Right.
So, because the company will be 8 years old.
It'll be 8 years in April.
8 years in April. It took 3 or 4 years to get to the first million.
Probably.
Yeah. It took 3 or 4 years to get to the second.
Probably. Yeah.
And we look radically different than we did the first million.
Oh, for sure. We look radically different than a year and a half ago.
We do. And that's a good thing. We're not looking different because we were terrible at what we were doing. We just had to adapt. And now we're better than when we were.
Correct.
100%.
All right. So we spent a lot of time talking about us, but let's talk about our urgent cares.
Yes.
Right. So not our urgent cares, but just urgent cares in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would bear out to be true. There is a significant lack of intentional annual planning.
Yes.
Or they're just not telling us about it. And being the significant part of their strategy, you would think we would know this information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And not in
we bring more strategy to them
Yes.
in their goal planning than they do to us.
we multiple times, right?
Yeah, all the time, it feels like.
Especially when there's adding the location.
Right.
Because we're also the reality check.
Correct.
Like, hey, that's cool, that's wonderful, but here's some reality. Like, we've had more than one discussion with urgent care trying to add a location. We said, hey, if you move there, you're going to cannibalize your current location.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, you're moving 2 miles away.
Yeah,
that's not going to work.
Yeah, you put some gap in there, honey.
Yeah, a little bit. And that makes sense.
Well, I was thinking, one of our clients, this is a great client, multi-location. They just bought some new locations in New Orleans, or at least in the Louisiana area.
Yeah.
They have told us we are on their org chart.
Yeah.
And we've never been invited into their annual planning.
No, we get the receiving end of it.
We do. Here's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
but imagine
Yes.
for a second, even in our own marketing company, we have a marketing person, Hannah.
Yes.
Who presented our marketing strategy?
Miss Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you not want the people that are delivering and executing in such a key part of your business, not in the room, virtually or in person, to talk about strategy in that? I mean, I promise you it wasn't because we didn't try. I had my team, very beginning of Q1, reach out to our clinics, get a strategy, let them know we are here to plan with them for 2026. Yep. We want to be a part of the plan. Let us know what we can do. We will step in. We'll come to you, whatever we need to do. Not one. And it's okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not.
And this is something.
That's not the point.
This is something we have felt for 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's very rare that we are a part of their plan, whether they like it or not. Like, we're part of that plan, but we're never involved on the plan.
Right.
So, but no, it's real, and I get it too. And a lot of it's because especially now. So as a company, we've been around for almost 8 years, and we can now understand trends better. We understand the reality of things, and we understand hey, what's been working and what's not working and all that stuff. And I do think a lot of urgent cares that we work with, most of them are pretty young,
sure,
under 5 years.
Sure.
And if they started just 5 years ago, they got the wrong taste because they tasted COVID, and that wasn't real.
That was a terrible time to start your business.
Yeah, you probably made a ton of money and stretched yourself out, and then you lost a ton of money 3 years later.
It's funny that you say that. It has been my experience, Michael, that my past successes are more detrimental than my past failures.
How so?
Well, I think of all the weight I lost in CrossFit.
Yeah.
Right? That was a huge success for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to do the work it takes to do that again. So that's a success. I've gained the weight back from years of being removed from CrossFit. I don't want to do the things that I used to do to get that result. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And there's been other areas. I remember attempting to go back to radio because I was very successful in radio.
Yep.
It was a complete, I was successful then, but my season had changed. Right. A lot of people will find they're trying to do things that used to work, and that isn't what you're supposed to do. You need to be in the season that you're in. Part of that is evaluating. Part of taking a look at our year was evaluating where we came from. You did a really good job of one, celebrating all the wins. There were a ton of them.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the fun one. Just real quick, we generated over 114,000 phone calls last year.
Correct. That's a lot of phone calls, right?
Yeah,
That's
a fun number.
That doesn't even consider the Google business profiles that we don't track.
Yeah, and I think that's
you
just
could probably 3x that number. Basically.
Yeah, because the business profile numbers we don't track because we don't put numbers in there. But no, but I love celebrating what we did, because the reality is, if we're still standing here today, breathing and like adding people and all things, we did something right.
Correct.
I mean, we did something right.
Right.
So gotta celebrate it.
Yeah. So we evaluated what worked.
Yep.
We have evaluated, maybe not come to a complete conclusion, but we've evaluated what didn't work. Right?
And what was a thorn in our side.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. We had 5 months last year that felt like somebody had our head in between a door jamb and a door, and they were just slamming the door.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like for about 5 months.
Your world's spinning. Like, oh, I think I'm okay. Oh, no, there's another one.
There goes another one.
We felt some of that. Yeah. For those who don't work with us that are listening, but you do have a marketing company, be very kind to them around the beginning of the year.
That's right.
Because they've had a rough time.
People get shiny object syndrome. And, they get two things. They get amnesia and shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, this is shiny. You've never done anything.
You've never done a thing for me. You've generated 5 patients in 3
months. You only opened up 3 new clinics because of us. Are you sure you want to go down that road? Yeah, you're fired. I'm like, okay.
I'm a little something different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All that to be said, you're going through this as a business. Everybody goes through this as a business. Yep. Everybody talks. Social media will tell you all the good things that are going on, but it very rarely has the real behind it.
No.
Know?
Well, yeah, and even there's talking about the real behind stuff in social media. There's a guy I follow. He's an auto detailing guy, but he has like 90s humor. Like he drives like a 90s Suburban, all this stuff. Like he lives in the 90s. And so all his videos are jokes about his wife and him. Like, you have a wife in the 90s when they slam the door and you're trying to hold and it breaks the handle off or whatever. Yeah. And, but then he posted a video recently of just like, here's the behind the scenes of what's really going on and like how frustrated he gets with some of the videos. And just like the reality of it all. And he's like, hey, yeah, I got 3 million new viewers, whatever. And that's it. Like, it doesn't mean a ton sometimes. Like, it's cool, but it doesn't like fix all things. And there's still a ton of work to be done.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But clinics, understanding the real behind your business, what worked, what didn't work, take an inventory of what you have. What does your team look like? We had talked about this in the last podcast. Do you want to live another year the way that you lived it last year? And I'm not talking about financially at this point. I'm talking about the people that you're doing your life with. Yeah. Do you have people in your clinic that don't need to be in your clinic anymore? Yeah.
And a litmus test on that is, do you walk in and think, please don't talk to me? Thinking about the person that's going to come talk to you.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you still have that person?
Right.
And I'm not trying to be like, maybe they do an amazing job and they just don't know. Well, you probably need to have a sit down with them and say, I need this to change.
Yeah. Nobody should be causing that level of stress in your life.
No, especially if you're the owner and you have the power to make a change, but you're just letting it go by. Right. Unrelated to this podcast itself, but something that comes to mind. Somebody told me, are you a peacemaker or a peacekeeper? And that's just a fascinating concept of, gosh, I've never just sat down and evaluated that. And there's a lot of people that just like to keep the peace, but don't make the peace.
Right.
And so maybe this is your year to make the peace.
Is that why they call it the peacemaker, the gun?
Yeah.
Isn't that Wyatt Earp's gun?
And then there's the peacekeeper missile. There's a whole thing there.
Yeah, sometimes you need to not put a bullet in anybody. Don't do that. But, sometimes you need to, I guess that's also why they call it firing, right?
Yeah. There's so many things there. Anyway, that kind of just flew into my mind. But no, so yeah, I mean, and I think reflecting, like you said, reflecting on what was working, what was not, what should we be doing this year compared, and being realistic about it. But I think one of the things the question to the audience would be, are you doing an annual meeting? Yes or no? If yes, what does it look like? Because for us, it's an all-day event. We basically shut our doors for a whole day. But it's all about us. We don't talk about the clients. We talk about what we've been doing and how can we improve and all the things, because there's always room for improvement. And then when we're all said and done, hopefully the entire team is on the same page and knows what we want to do for the year.
I feel like this is the first time we've come out of an annual meeting where everybody felt like they were on the same page.
Yeah.
And I got more feedback on this meeting than I've ever gotten one in the past.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was what we needed.
And it technically felt like what we've done before.
Yeah. Without the leadership game.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
But how do we apply this to a clinic? One, prep.
Yeah.
Prep. You, me, and the other leaders on the team, we sat down and we built a plan on what we were going to discuss and who was going to own what.
We did the most corporate thing ever. A meeting about a meeting.
We did. We had a meeting about a meeting.
Yeah.
First time I don't do that. You know me.
Yeah. I was laughing when it was happening. I was like, wait.
I already don't like meetings, but I wanted to go in and I wanted everybody to have no question who we are, what we do, and where we're going.
Yep.
I wanted that. Well, in order to do that, you got to prepare for it.
Yep.
And I also didn't need everything to be my idea. Owners, listen up to that. I didn't need everything to be my idea.
Correct.
Right? The law of the lid, John Maxwell.
Yep.
You're only going to grow past your capabilities, and you're probably surrounded by some pretty good people. And if you're not, change your people.
Yeah, change people or change the room.
Right. That's
Something's going on.
That's right.
No, it's true though, because and we recognize this not only as owners, but then in the leadership side. If you're answering questions all day long, that's a problem because you're running out of time. I think our production manager Devin knows that really well. Like, it's okay to answer questions, but if that's literally all you're doing, then there's something more you need. You only have so many hours in a day, and you're one person. And the company, at some point, your company, your urgent care clinic, will be big greater than you, unless you just don't want it to be greater than you.
Yeah, because some people are like that.
Some people want it to just be, I want to go in, take care of patients, and go home, and I'm happy with that.
There's a great little clinic that we work with out of Oregon that's like that.
Yeah,
great clinic.
Like that's just what I want to do, and I'm happy with it.
Mad respect for that.
Yeah, and I don't have desires to add locations. I don't have desires to step away from the business and let it run without me some. I just don't want any of that. Cool. That's totally fine. But you have to recognize that, because if that's truly what you want, then make sure you do the things to get there. But most people, they want freedom of their time. And freedom of your time does not, you would think, oh, if I have people working for me, I should have more time. But why I have less time now than ever? Because that's like a big question. Like, why did our team grow so much? But then there are parts of us that I have less time than I did. Why is this happening? And so you have to think through that. And then part of like an annual meeting is like, hey, we want to grow. And here's a couple of things. Because one of the things that you says, like, I'm not going to be as available as I once was by design.
Yeah.
And then I was saying, and for myself, I was like, I'm going to be introducing office hours of some, I got to figure out the exact times. Basically saying, I'm not available at your beck and call. I'm available from this time to this time, which hopefully will do. You'll probably figure out by the time that slot comes up, and then you back off.
This is going to sound terrible because I really don't believe this in my heart of hearts. But in my mind, I want to go, you work for me, I don't work for you. But that's not totally true, and that a good leader is there to serve their team.
Yeah.
The problem is if I'm serving you 24/7, we have a problem.
Well, or if I'm a crutch, like, I know you know this answer, but you're afraid to just move forward with it. That's not helping you, and it's not helping me. It's not helping the company.
I'm pissing off my team all the time now because they'll ask me a question. I'll be like, well, what do you think?
Yeah. And just
what would you do?
And that actually goes the same, like clinic owners, are you being bombarded with questions by team members that have been there for more than a year? You probably shouldn't be bombarded with too many questions. And then it becomes, as you've always said, first, bring me in a question, I'll bring you an answer. Next, bring me a question with possible answers already ready to talk about. Finally, bring me the question and the answer that you implemented. You just want to say, by the way, we did this, and you give a thumbs up and move on.
Yep.
And then one more step is that you don't even hear about it.
that takes a little time.
Yeah, it does
to get to, but there are now problems being solved in the organization that I know nothing about, and is just not hurting my feelings.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just like, oh, we're doing that now. That makes okay. We're doing it now.
So you've prepped for the meeting, you're executing the meeting. It has to be intentional. We do an all day. I'm not telling you have to do an all day, but we do an all day because of the size of our team and the amount of information I want to put out there. I am setting us up for the year and casting a vision of who we are, what we do, and where we're going.
Yep.
And to catch that up for y'all, we're on a mission to help 100 urgent care brands get to 40 patients per day and beyond. We're on a mission to do that. And all of my team is aligned on that mission.
Yep.
Right? What are our core values that match up with that? Well, culture trumps everything. Win-win partnerships, exceptional client experience, and embracing ownership. Those are the things. Those are our guardrails for our teams to be able to make decisions for themselves. I will keep our vision to ourselves because that is more internal than anything, and it doesn't affect externally.
Yep.
But at the same time, your inclusion is we want to help you reach your full potential.
Absolutely.
Right? And all of our team is aligned on that. And there are dollars, timelines, and goals attached to that. Right? Are you doing this for your clinic? Do they, if you left your clinic, do they have a clear understanding of what they need to accomplish, or are they just serving the next patient?
Yeah. Well, and I even think about, because our clinics are pretty good about telling us when they close for certain random times. We've yet, in the years of business that we've been in, have heard from a clinic that said, hey, we're closing this day because we're having an annual meeting with our entire staff.
Right.
Never heard that before.
Right.
Which means I bet you've never closed your doors to have an annual meeting. That's my guess.
And I can understand.
I understand, but I don't.
I empathize with you from the standpoint of those are dollars lost, but they're not dollars lost. They're dollars invested.
Yeah, it's an investment because if you can get your entire team on the same page and you're all swinging at the same ball, that 1 day loss of, we'll just say $1,000 in revenue, maybe more, maybe less. Who knows what kind of clinic you are? You can regain that in probably 3 months, easy, by everybody being on the same page.
But the other option, even not closing your doors, is finding times when you're closed, you're after hours, and just I worked at Costco for 3 or 4 years. I can't remember the time frame.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, huge operation. Well, when we had to do inventory counts, we never did that during the day. After we closed, they had a list of people. Basically, it was all hands on deck. I can't think of even the manager of the store was there, right?
Yeah.
There'd be 100 of us, and we had jobs to do after hours. Everybody was on the same page doing the same thing for this inventory count that was twice a year. But you can do things outside of hours and require your team to show up for that kind of stuff, but you have to pay them for it.
Yeah, pay them well for it.
Yeah, pay them well, make it fun.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be boring.
No, it doesn't have to be boring, and it doesn't have to be, we have, like, it needs to be, even our sections. So, like, when we were doing the sections throughout yesterday, they were between 10 and 30 minutes. And then we had a nice long lunch, and then we came back and finished up as well. And so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is dragging on. Why is it still going? There was
it never really felt that way.
No, it never did. It went really quick. And then we had to see like personalities come out and how the presentations were going. And then we had some time discussion. We had a big realization of, hey, we need to reconsider our project management software and how it's being used. And it was so cool to me because in the past, when there was a conflict, it was a heated conflict that was unnecessary. Yesterday, there was a conversation, not a conflict.
Right.
And it ended with like, hey guys, we don't have enough time in today to fix this, but are we all in agreement that this is something we want to fix? Yes. Cool. We're going to set up a separate time and get this knocked out.
Right.
And
you're talking about ClickUp.
Yes.
Okay.
No, not ClickUp, because that was the obvious, like,
you had 5 people with 5 totally different ideas.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, but we're all thinking, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
Because as it sits right now, it's a lot and it doesn't make total sense.
And nobody owns that process.
Right.
Which we got to fix that.
Yeah. So, but it's just one of those, like, it was not a point of contention of like, I'm upset with someone. It was more of just, yeah, this is the problem. I want to do this. And like, you know what? It is a problem. I think this is the other problem. And then it just like, it was really cool to see that because I was, when the problem was first brought up, I was like, oh, crap. In my mind, I was like, how's this going to go? And then about 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, we're all like trying to fix this.
Right.
Not trying to point a finger.
Yeah, I never got a finger point out there. It was good.
Yeah,
it was
good. It really was.
So this is healthy.
Yes.
This is healthy. You're going to get things out on the table that people are going to have. A good team is going to be looking for solutions. A bad team is going to be finger pointing, and you need to know the difference.
Yeah. If there's a lot of that's not my job,
Right.
or well, she did this or he did that, calling out by name, that's a larger problem.
Let me tell you, we have gotten the "that's not my job" people out of the company.
Yeah.
And I have watched one particular person that was a not my job person turn into somebody who's one of the biggest advocates for the company. And it's fun to watch that through proper coaching, encouragement, loving on all these different kinds of things. Just because they say that doesn't mean they're not the right person. Some people can be coached out of that. Some people can't.
Yep. 100%.
2026 is your year.
Yep.
If you're intentional about it.
Yeah, you have to be.
Intentionality is everything. I remember there were times in my life, seasons in my life, and companies I was with where I was just flying by the seat of my pants. And when I started writing goals down, let's do SMART goals, right?
Yep.
Is it specific? What am I trying to accomplish? Is it measurable? Does it have a number tied to it?
Mm-hmm.
SMART, S-M-A.
Attainable.
Can you actually do it? That's one of our biggest challenges still to date is we set goals that feel like they're in reach, but then we get derailed somehow and we don't reset our goals.
No, we don't.
Right.
And that's been such a challenge in the past where it is so funny because at 2025, we were able to set up the foundation to be realistic with our goals again.
Right.
There were lots of things that we were like, well, I hope it works.
Right.
And we didn't have like a system that would say it would work or the people at the time.
Correct.
So,
yeah. Are your goals realistic?
mm,
And then do you have a time frame in which to meet those goals?
Yep.
So are they time bound? We've set ours to be met quarterly.
Yep.
So we will try, fail, adjust on a quarterly basis. And we recommend you do the same.
Yep, 100%. So for those who are still listening, we know we watch those stats. If you're still listening, here's the thing: are you doing an annual review, like annual meeting, annual review? Is everybody on the same page? Are your goals realistic? They should not be double our business. The reality is most likely not going to be a thing. But looking at past couple of years, does it make sense that we increase our business by 20%? And what are we doing to do that? Not just say we're doing the same thing that we did last year, but it's going to increase 20%. Like,
right.
That's called insanity. We all know what that's called. And is your time frame make sense? Because like you said, if we can meet quarterly on it and say, is this still making sense? Did we have we didn't know that was coming, or hey, that showed up and that's awesome, and now we can do this, this, and this. We should start adjusting again.
Mm-hmm.
And be real, because the last thing you don't want to do is that you go 12 months and you say, "Whoa, we didn't come close."
Done that a few years.
We have, but we've gone backwards.
Well, make 2026 your year by making sure that you have a plan in place and that your team knows that you have a plan in place.
Yeah, I think if anything else to be taken away from this, just making sure your team is on the same page, especially in urgent care space, because you have rotating schedules. So you may have 2 or 3 people in one position that are rotating throughout the week. And in my mind, when you have that position being repeated, like getting everybody on the same page is challenging, but super important. Mm-hmm. And it should excite them. It shouldn't be like, you want us to do what? I'm like, we're not going to be able to do that. Yeah, you don't want to put stuff out there like nobody makes sense. So if you're a standalone owner that doesn't have leadership really under you yet, you need somebody to talk to about your goals and see if they make sense to them too.
For sure. Hey, 2026 is your year. Let's go out and make it happen.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Good talking with you, man.